All right, Coach. It's been a little bit since we last saw you, but most recent news: Margaux Rene got a spot in the ITA Cup and performed overall pretty well and fell in the quarterfinals. So, just talk to me what you saw from her performance individually, and then what the team's been doing lately.
Yeah, no, I didn't come and speak last week because at the time we didn't know that Margaux was going to get into the ITA Cup. I thought she should have had easily an at-large selection, and she was the first player out. But then, fortunately for us, one of the girls, actually the one seed in the tournament, ended up pulling out at the last minute. So we got the last minute call up Tuesday morning that she had qualified. So quickly made travel arrangements and got ourselves out there. And we had success at the ITA Cup last year, made it to the finals of the doubles championship with Eva and Avery. So I had a little bit of familiarity with what that kind of event was like, and I think Margaux was ready to go. I mean, she had a good fall regionals, and I think she really felt like she deserved to be there, and went out there, and I think she kind of proved herself. She got a win in the first round over the player who won the West Regional, which is always one of the toughest ones, and then made it to the quarterfinals and ran into a girl from Rollins University, and who that girl got in by virtue of her beating the number 4 player in the country in her fall regional. So we knew that one was going to be tough, and got off to a little bit of a slow start in that one, but kind of battled our way back into it. Second set was really close. Lost it in a tie break. Had a couple chances to get a break and then consolidate that she wasn't able to do, but fought really, really hard against a player who I think is probably going to be top 15 in the country when the new rankings come out. So dropped that one, but then went into the consolation draw and then had a really good win over a player from Catawba who won the Southeast Regional. To get a win over 2 players from kind of 2 of the historically top regions was really, really good for Margaux. I think that'll really improve her ranking going into the next rankings, and I think she could potentially be a top 25 player in the country when the rankings come out in January. And also just for her to test herself against those players. I mean, I think she had 6 nationally ranked wins last year, and then she's already got 3 through the fall of this year. So I think it was good for her to see that she belongs in that group, and obviously her ranking will help her to have a better shot at getting in direct acceptance to the ITA Cup next year, which seems like a long way away, but for players of her level to be able to test themselves against the other best players in the country, she really did her job this weekend. So really happy about that. We were away from the team for the rest of this week, which I was a little bit bummed about because we've got a tournament coming up this weekend at New Mexico State. So there's a lot of stuff we kind of wanted to see and work on this week. But Emma did a good job of keeping them organized and working hard while we were gone. So I felt really good, getting the reports every evening about how practice went with the girls who are back here. So really a productive week for us, for Margaux to get to kind of showcase her skill on the national stage, and have our younger girls back at home getting ready for this past tournament. So really excited about that. I mean, for Margaux, that's the first time ASU had ever had a singles player make the ITA Cup, and for her to go get 2 nationally ranked wins was really big for her and for our program, and we're really looking forward to go play some good competition this weekend at New Mexico State to close out the fall.
And what's the big focus for you and your team between now and when the spring season starts?
We gotta, we're gonna have an opportunity this weekend. It's hosted by New Mexico State, so it's gonna be their squad. I think half of University of New Mexico, so some good D1 programs, and then also I believe it's gonna be UTPB, LCU, and Western New Mexico out there. So we'll get to see some good level D1 players. We'll get to see some other, players who are gonna be, players who we're gonna be competing against in the spring. So, we're going to have an opportunity, I think, to mess around with doubles a little bit, maybe see a couple different sets of doubles pairings throughout the weekend. That's one thing we do got to figure out. We got to figure out, what we're going to do with doubles. We have a lot of options right now that we feel pretty good with, but it would be really nice to be able to, have some doubles pairings, kind of like stake their claim. Like we play really well together. We are ready to be a team that you can trust going into the spring season. So we're definitely going to have to, kind of figure some things out with doubles, with a young team and potentially 3 or 4 new doubles teams. Like that's always something that you got to work on in the fall. And then, being so young, 5 true freshmen and 3 sophomores, we gotta really be productive and build good habits through the rest of the fall, so we're ready to go in the spring. So I think that's the biggest thing, is just being really focused and working hard in the gym and with our running, just to get our bodies ready, and then just to build as much experience as we can going into the spring.
Outside of winning, coach, because obviously that's the ultimate goal there. What specifically do you want to see from your young players in this last event before fall ends?
Yeah, a couple of them have only, had a handful of college matches so far. So I want them to, they should have potential to get 3 singles matches and 5 doubles matches, depending on how the draws shake out. So, really, I want to see them go compete. I want to see them play. I want to see them, put into use all the things that we've worked on, in the last 6 or 7 weeks or so of the fall. And so yeah, I want to see them, play with a lot of energy and excitement, and it'll be tough competition. So definitely see them, go out there and battle. Conditions look like they're going to be really nice. So yeah, I just want to go see them play really hard and play with good energy, and make the most of this opportunity to get one last competition in against some good opponents. So yeah, I think, and just to be together as a team, it's a 3-day tournament, so we'll get to spend 4 full days together. So just can continue building our team chemistry, and because getting a closer look of what we're going to be like when the season starts in the spring. So a lot of good opportunities for us to to take some steps as a program this weekend.
Thank you,
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.